brand new car scent, leather and wood grain, 365. I act ropes and madness, saying the shit they want to. Capricorn 1230 to go. I don't tolerate or promote any dumb shit. We be coolin', smoking some weapons. She smell that wood.
Okay, so Souls of Mischief, 93 Till Infinity, is not only their most recognizable song forever, but it is also the year that marks their sort of coming into being. Even though they'd been around from the early 90s, you know, they've been around and they sort of came on up after Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Ice Cube's cousin, who sort of paved the way for the whole Hiero movement. And then, like I did interviews with them again, I think on early 93 rather, excuse me, on KOSF San Francisco. They were on, and we had them on with Brown Fellini's doing kind of a live session back and forth. And what set Souls of Mischief, so in 93, when they released their, you know, the first two singles and then the debut album, 93 Till Infinity, back then they were young. They were like 17, 18 years of age. They were very young, and they were different because all of these other artists being discussed are more kind of mob, street, playa type music, whereas Souls of Mischief came along and they were more in the sort of like, was it kind of East Coast tradition of what hip hop was, but yet they were still Bay Area, and they were into Too Short and everything else. But they were very different, and even like their first videos with Michael Lucero, rest in peace, that were shot in these sort of rural places up in Mount Tam, or up out in the greenery, were quite different, because back then everyone would be like around a fire in the inner city doing their rap videos. So everything about them was quite different. So they were, in a way, they booked the whole trend of what the Bay Area, the stereotypical thing was known as sort of players or sort of pimp. Mac Daddy, like Too Short, was sort of more the player, or like the mob stuff, was what the Bay Area was known for, but it was so much deeper than that. And of course, Hobo Junction, who were sort of in between rap, so-called rap and so-called hip-hop, they were kind of just totally different. And then Mystic Journeyman came along, and the whole Living Legends crew, and how they helped redefine it. And then Souls of Mischief there, and so many different artists that people sometimes forget in the Bay Area, because they think of like the more, like they think of Sibo, they're going to think of, from Sacramento, they'll think of Too Short, they think of E40, they'll think of Drew Down and different people, but they forget like there were so many sort of groundbreaking artists, hip-hop artists, who their style was totally different. It was more in the tradition of what the East Coast was known for at the time, and Souls of Mischief kind of helped sort of push that forward to realize in the Bay Area that it's such a diverse thing, because there's so many different styles here, including all of the turntablism and the scratching, and also the other forms that go with it too, including the aerosol art, aka the graffiti. Like in the Bay Area, people like the late great Mike Dream, who are truly leaders in a whole art movement.
To me, I always feel like the Bay Area always has a piece in music, but people don't want to give it the credit that it holds. Yeah. Like Souls of Mischief, I think Souls of Mischief 93 Till has probably one of the best beats, one of the best messages ever. And if you didn't really pay attention, you wouldn't know that that's a Bay Area
That's an anthem.
That's a Bay Area anthem. That's like the essence of us. Man, right there.
In the 90s, before you used to go out,
come on,
they would be bumping that instrumental.
Man, they was bumping that instrumental. You put that on right now, your favorite rapper right now will probably throw a freestyle to it.
Oh yeah, that beat is so chill.
That beat is so, it's ahead of its time. So when I think of Souls of Mischief, I really think hip hop, and what we have a piece in that. Oakland has a piece in that. We contributed that song to the world, and it's forever known.
Oh yeah.
93 Till. And I'm a 91 baby, so I'm always like, yeah, bro, 2 years, go. We all the way out.
Hiero, 93 Till Infinity. That was an album too, 94, but I got into that when I got here to the Bay, and I heard Del, the Funky Homo Sapien, Del, yeah. And then that's how I got introduced to that whole group. And then they made that one video, it was on CMC all the time. Oh man. But yeah, that's a classic.
Souls of Mischief, 93 Until Infinity. Remember that? Sure do. So this was a 10-year-old youngster, you know, at the skating rink requesting the song, you know. It was a smooth little vibe. It was nice. It had you rocking with your lady back when you was holding hands and stuff. Oh man, trying to request that little dance to skate with her, whatever. Hey, let's do this little skate off to the oo-wop. Man, I gotta say it was a smooth jam. Back when you had good knees, doing the hand motions.
That's the case no more.
Not the case no more.
Knees are shot.
Yeah, it was good vibes, and it was real cool, man. I remember that. Hell yeah. 93 Until Infinity. Had that nice tone, humming. Man, smooth, brother.
More cause than effect, if you're asking me. I'm partial to select who decides for me. Only questions asked were derogatory.